Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the Easier Discussion. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. And if it's your birthday, I hope you're having a wonderful birthday. I had a birthday recently, and oh boy, did I get some presents. Mostly in the form of a collusion-proving indictment that apparently scared Donald Trump enough to make him feel like he had to make a little national address about his wall. Everybody pay attention to the wall. Focus on the wall. Focus on the shutdown. Pay no attention to the clear evidence of fucking collusion to steal the 2016 election. But the thing is, now we've moved from a concrete wall, which wouldn't work, to a steel wall, which wouldn't work. But before I go into talking about just how easy it is to completely destroy all of the investment we could put into any type of steel wall, let's just recap on why a concrete barrier is a dumb idea. A concrete barrier obstructs your view. The more obstructed your view is, the shorter the tunnel they need to dig will be. That's pretty much it with walls that are concrete. You can't see through them, so you don't know what's happening on the other side of them. That and the immense footprint of the construction process would increase the amount of eminent domain necessary, and just piss off all kinds of landowners in Texas, let me tell you. And bottom line is, it wouldn't work because tunnels. Now, another reason why a metal fence won't work is because even though you can see through it, there's eventually going to be like some trees or a house or something, and they can just dig the fucking tunnel over there. They just got to dig a little further because you can see through your wall. However, five-year-olds. 5-year-olds. That's it. 5-year-olds could completely destroy a steel wall. Doesn't matter how you put it together. Doesn't matter how thick it is, how tall it is, how spiky it is. You give me some 5-year-olds, and I'll give them some water guns with salt water. And just tell them to go spray the wall with the salt water. Maybe a year, maybe 2 years, whole sections of that shit are going to start crumbling. 5 years, 10 years tops,
no more fucking wall. However many billions of dollars, completely fucking wasted. Taken down by a bunch of 5-year-old Mexican boys. I almost want to let them build it just to see that happen. Steel, as you may have heard, living in the real world, unlike Trump, fucking rusts over time. Now, the reason why Captain Bone Spurs and all his vast construction knowledge doesn't understand this is because of how steel fencing is used in the construction business to keep out looters during the construction process. You see, from that point on, when the building is up, all the steel inside of the building is fucking kept dry, isn't it? Steel rusts because it's made primarily of iron. For those of you who don't know what steel looks like, that's what steel looks like. Rusty. And if I were to let the morning dew fall on that blade, even without salt water, even without salt, adding that extra corrosion, if I were just to let the morning dew settle on that blade outside, in just a couple years, it would crumble with a smack. Okay? So that's all I gotta do. Oh, what you gonna do? Paint it? Okay. So they gotta squirt it with paint thinner first. Or they gotta go sand it down or scrape it a little. All I gotta do is take a fucking flat scraper and just go, paint's gone. What are they worried about, ruining the finish? Free tablet, huh? I wonder if Kira could use that for work. Huh. They're really trying to get me to pay my cell phone bill. Anyways. So, yeah, do I need to explain this? Good morning, Emily, by the way. Thanks for coming and hanging out and clicking like and stuff. Do I need to explain this anymore? Fucking steel rusts. You know? On a construction site, you'll use a steel fence in a high crime area where fucking green plastic fence just isn't good enough. Okay. And you'll put that up to keep fucking criminals out. You know? And it doesn't matter if that rusts, because that's going to come down at the end of the construction project, right? And as we know, Donald Trump built his towers in a fucking hurry so he could get them up right before 9/11 happened. So his fences didn't rust. Do you have that? I look into my steel kitchen sink and see. Um, automotive polisher. That's what you need. Automotive polish. Go look for the chrome polish that they use on SUVs and shit. Polish your sink with that. It'll keep that rust off of there for a hot minute, and the water will bead right up. Which would be kind of funny. It's like, you know, nothing you want to eat off of, but it's your sink, so it's sanitary. Get one of them mother's balls. You know, you can use a sanding disc at first. Go get the 3M 3-stage. Starts with the rough sanding, then it goes with the finer grit, and then the finest grit, right? And it comes with a little rubber holder for your drill, and you can use that probably to sand that shit and get the rust off of there. Rinse that down, because the polish is going to work with water anyways. And then get the rest of it and polish it shiny with the polish. If you get swirl marks from the drill, just get 1 stage finer sandpaper and just kind of swirl the other way, even out the swirls. Do what you can do before you polish. But yeah, treating it like body work ought to work just fine. And then of course, you can always fucking, instead of polishing it, just paint the damn thing. What might make the job easier and work for a good effect, but it might not hold up as long, is taping off the top and only painting from the walls down on the inside of the sink. But, you know, as that chips away over time, you know, it'll need to be repainted again, but it was an easy process to begin with, and while it chips away, it's not going to look that bad, especially compared to the rusting sink, you know. Use a high ceramic paint, I would think, like exhaust paint or something like that. But like a high gloss. It's definitely got to be high gloss, because otherwise the water's going to go into it, you know. But they might actually have something specifically made for painting kitchen sinks. You know, I just think of the car guy approach, fucking metal surface getting rusty. Sand that shit and polish it, or paint it. The polish will have to be redone. The paint will eventually have to be redone too, but you know, if you like the way it looks steel, if you like the way it looks now, polish it. If you want to make it kind of like, maybe like if you got white cabinets or white cabinet knobs and you want to like make like a white bottom to the sink, that might be cool. Blue, maybe like an olive green would look nice. Beige is going to look really nasty really quick. Any kind of off-white is going to look pretty nasty pretty quick. Reds and pinks and oranges, obviously just an eyesore. Anyways. But if you go with a color, it's gotta match trim. You know, especially if y'all want to ever sell the place like that. Man, I can't wait to get into flipping houses, because I helped my mom flip so many of them. and like, you know, I used to absorb information like a fucking sponge. So I know all the little tricks. I know how to turn some house that somebody ruined into something that everybody's gonna want again, you know. And I've seen some ruined houses. I've seen some houses that I thought were great, but like I could see why. Looking that way might reduce the value. Not everybody wants like unicorns and stars on their bedroom wall, for instance. You know, that was a special fucking bedroom though. They were glow-in-the-dark stars, every single one of them. And I bet you the fucking unicorn would have glowed in the dark, but I wasn't there at nighttime. But man, you remodeling upper middle to like upper class, like McMansion type homes. You find a lot of weird shit people do. Anyways. Like some people really know how to destroy the paint in a bathroom. Like, some wallpaper choices I've seen. Oh, so special. So special. Like somebody had some old shit they needed to sell to a blind grandma or something. You know, no offense to blind grandmas out there, but I don't know who else is gonna buy wallpaper like the shit I've seen. Blind grandpas, maybe blind grandpas. But then they'd probably just say, fuck that shit, paint it. Oh yeah, gotta have the Mylar. Oh yeah. I had one. The single worst remodeling experience of my life, actually. Let me tell you this story. I might have told it already, or at least in brief form. I forgot where I was moving from, but I was moving into my first little 2-bedroom townhome. Yeah. And this was off of the Causeway Bridge in Metairie by New Orleans. And this really elderly lady, speaking of blind grandmas, really elderly lady owned this just single fourplex. She lived in one of the units and rented out the other 3. You know, the 2-story, 2 bedrooms, opposed, laundry room in the back by the kitchen. Right. Well, the Tom brothers, who I might consider one day giving a chance at working for me as far as construction goes, because they have skills if they can, you know, reach a point in their lives where they prove reliable in some way. This was one of the times where they didn't prove reliable. They lived there before me and talked the landlady into renting to me, and talked the landlady into kind of, with my request, remodeling the place and spiffing it up a little bit before renting it out to me, because it had been a while since it had been updated. And they wind up charging this lady $900 for like 2 days work. And the dumbest part about it was, most of it actually went to materials. they bought, speaking of wallpaper, Ralph Lauren matching wallpaper and paint. It's fucking beautiful. Okay, though it was like a white paint with a bluish glow to it, and the wallpaper was for the kitchen, and was sort of like just like a painted, that kind of thing, in blue and gray, and then a border trim piece with that mixed with other designs and these blue flower blossoms. And then the top wallpaper was these hand painted looking blue flowers, like blue leaves and blooms and everything, huge, like just like the whole flower would be like yay big. Just fucking gorgeous. It really was. But that was not the first impression I wanted to make on my new landlady. She fucking nearly died right in front of me as they handed her the bill. And she was mad at me for like the whole time I rented from her because of that too. Like, Ralph Lauren, blue flowers wallpaper. I forget the fucking name of the paint. I had it memorized for a while because it was that much of a fucking ordeal. But I'm proud to say that there is not a single design that I've laid down in these fucking, well, I think I've filled up probably 3 more sketchbooks since y'all have been here. Oh, I filled up 3 sketchbooks in the past couple of months. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 of them the old ones, 1 of them the one I was working on, and the rest. So 4 since y'all been here. No, 3 since y'all been here. We'll finish the one. I'll probably have a 4th one by the time y'all get here. There'd be a 7th one. Have you seen that one company in, I think, the New Orleans area that went from the party barge platform to making like a pontoon-based yacht? They're really nice. They're like houseboat type luxury party barges. They're bitchin'. I mean, they can go shallow water. Well, I was sort of starting the parts catalog, which I basically have in side notes in these, in the binders no one can see. And I realized I've got this modular system for sealing up a floor, and I'm basically building barges underneath houses. Why don't I take these modular parts and see what, with minimal additional parts, again, interchangeable parts, everything has to be based on interchangeable parts. If I can't use it in one more than place, I'm not gonna fucking design it, okay? And I wanted to see, first of all, what kind of multi-purpose boat I could make. And I made a semi-submersible, like, lifeboat style houseboat, like a 2-bedroom luxury yacht. 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, nice big kitchen. Viewing decks on all 4 sides. And then I made a little bitty boat. 8 foot wide by 24 feet long. 1 bedroom and 2 fold-out bunks. Stand-up shower, separate from the toilet. I don't like that shower in the toilet thing. Just no. I don't even pee in my fucking bathtub. Like, no. Okay, anyways. I'm not saying I've never done it. I'm just saying I don't do it. You know. I don't make a habit of it. And if I do, if I absolutely have to, I aim very well. Okay, we're gonna get off the subject. Anyway. But no toilets in the fucking shower, man. No toilets in the shower. Have you seen these in houseboats and RVs and camper homes? And there's not even like that much space. Like, what are they like? Are they trying to get you to sit down on the toilet seat while you fucking bathe? Like, because otherwise, like, you're trying to keep your balance and you got to turn the right way and hover one leg folded over the toilet while you... Fuck all that, dude. So yeah, that was an 8 by 24 foot unit. And the front is like convertible. And I took that design and I kind of tripled it. And I made a big fucking pontoon gigantic yacht. Okay. And I started thinking about those party barge yachts and how the way they make those big wide pontoon setups, they don't displace much. They don't need much depth of water. So I said, you know, why don't I make this the world's largest airboat? Not a hovercraft, not anything so useful, just a total indulgent fucking giant, kind of looks like one of those racing boats when it all comes down to it, you know, with the 2 pontoons right there and the thing up here. But this thing up here is a big fucking air intake that ducts through the center floor. It's a 4-story craft total, including the bridge. Of course, it's got a gigantic kitchen. It's got about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 outdoor dining tables. I think I had 8 bedrooms, like with their own bathrooms and everything. And that's all with modular house building parts. And a little bit of aluminum. Or excuse me, I'm going to sell them in Europe. So I'll be using aluminum. I'm sure. And they're, because of the building process, I imagine I'll be able to have them priced to sell at still a substantial profit, you know. But you know, I'm working like a fucking zombie. Okay. I'm back in one of those phases where I just don't get much sleep. I took a break to design a fucking 18-wheeler. Okay, that was my version of fucking enjoying myself. I got my wife playing Final Fantasy and we were taking turns doing that, but I've been like trying to force myself to do that just to fucking relax, because I'll sit here and fucking fold my legs up and hunch over and fucking just draw on my sketchbook while watching video after video of modern construction techniques and ingenious fucking carpenters and concrete fabricators and really fucking clever old Chinese people. Oh, I like the way they do stuff. Because none of it costs much. But some of the land I'm looking at around here, especially as a starting point, like some of the cheap shitty land, right? Has a lot of lumber on it. You know, needs to be cleared, that's why it's fucking cheap. But we're talking about white oak, you know, and a lot of other good wood, pine trees and shit like that too. So I'm thinking, why don't I wind up planning on getting a little cheap sawmill? And the more I fucking look into it, it seems the cheaper people have managed to make them, including guys that have made the whole damn raceway out of wood. And I figure we could probably buy cheaper land with some of the wood we're going to use on it. Now, for the whole bottom couple of feet, speaking of feet, mine almost just got sliced by a stampede of kittens. For the whole couple of bottom feet, you want to go and buy pressure treated, you know, insect proof lumber. And I'll probably be using that for wall framing beams whenever I do something that's in like a known flood zone. And the land that I've been looking at is in a known flood zone, so I'll be using my wall framing beams probably, you know, all from the Home Depot and shit, or from the little local lumber store around here, or from my wife's friend's husband whose dad left him a lumber company in Arkansas or some shit. Yeah. That's been a fucking deal. He builds cabinets too. He's a custom cabinet guy. So, been waiting to capitalize on that little possibility there. But for these buildings I'm going to build on this land, the prototypes, the whole prototyping process, to be able to fucking mill my own lumber for the roofs, for the sheds, for the trim. I mean, for the first thing we build, you know, make the floor frame out of Home Depot wood. Make the whole rest of that shit out of free milled wood. So if we fuck up, we could just tear it apart and start over. You know, I don't think we're gonna fuck up. I got some seriously experienced carpenters. People blow me out of the water, and I don't even think I would fuck it up. Oh, my toes are just like having flashbacks, just because they've cut me up pretty fucking. Shit, I still got scabs. Like, oh, they're just coming through here, just one after the other, just chasing each other, just clawing the whole time. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Because, you know, all cats think in the voice of like black 30s gangsters. Yeah. I'm gonna get you, cat. Yeah. Anyways. Why haven't I been to fucking sleep yet? Oh yeah, because I forced myself to put down the truck designing. It's that there. See if you have some software that can extrapolate that. I've gotten a little more jiggy with it. I got I don't know what I'd call that. The box frame. Two subframes, the rear suspension, center chassis brace, front subframe bracing, collapsible, impact collapsible, front subframe bracing, and the headlight and bumper mounts, as well as a really funky upper A-arm setup. It's going to use leaf springs and a dual wishbone coilover setup on dually wheels. This is so the suspension can be operated on easily and to provide redundancy should any, you know, either or break. But also so that they can be customized, raised, made for off-road, airbagged. One of the things that somebody's probably going to love or hate about this thing is that it's got two different length of tailpipes. So I made one of them bend, and that didn't really help. It's got two different tailpipes. And there's no way to get around that without causing an unnecessary heat buildup. Because I have crammed engines, you know, the back place where the 18-wheeler accepts the hitch, that box frame right there. You don't have to make your tires too much thinner as far as grip area goes to fit everything you need in there and still have room for a couple of Honda V6s. I was fucking around with the design of you know, trying to make like a 4-cylinder diesel engine work, but then I remembered why and how Honda made its 278 horsepower, 236 pound-foot of torque naturally aspirated VTEC V6s. the ones that can beat the Camaros. V8, V6. Not by much, but they beat them. By more than half a second, I think it was, too. Almost a full second. It was like 0.7 or something like that. I want to say 0.8, but let's not be greedy. Come on. $278 horsepower times 2. 556 horsepower. Excuse me. 566 horsepower. $236 torque. That's combined to make 472 pounds-foot of torque. That is not enough for an 18-wheeler. The main purpose of this is safety. Okay? And I consider that a priority worth working around. You still got 2 more wheels. And you've got room in the back for electric motors to augment the already powered rear wheels. The Honda V6 was made to fit in the same engine bay as a Honda 4-cylinder. Only a Honda 4-cylinder will run the accessories from here to here. Okay, so you have your power steering pump, AC compressor, alternator. Okay, on a serpentine belt, or on the older ones on individual belts. Okay. The V6 is actually narrower and has the accessories mounted that way on the end. Kind of like a V8 with the accessories on the front, but transverse. Because of this, if you then take the accessories and mount them on the front like you would on a 4-cylinder, you can fit those Honda V6s in that narrow space between the two 18-wheelers' leaf springs. But that's not enough power. But due to the braking requirements, I had already decided to provide a larger front wheel diameter. Okay. Because it's possible that I might need a slightly more on the narrow side rear wheel diameter. It's still a dually in the back, but you know, I'm trying to be real. We might have to make those narrow dually wheels. At least, you know, more like an Asian truck as opposed to an American or Australian truck. Let me just put it that way. But your front wheels can provide a whole lot of braking power. So what I can do is I can actually make them both wider and larger round. And that combined with the four-wheel regenerative braking that I would eventually want put on this vehicle, which is a Honda technology. Honda is one of the people who have one company, excuse me. That allows for much better braking performance, and let's see, if you had just the electric motors driving the front wheels, if I remember some specs that I had looked up on an electric wheel, electric motor I was looking at for a cart. You get something with about 80 horsepower, and it's going to have about 217, some odd number like that, pounds-foot of torque. Okay, the horsepower and the torque are far different from a gasoline engine. The gasoline engine, as the RPM increases, the torque will go up quickly, and then the horsepower will follow, and then the torque will fall off, and the horsepower will continue to go up, and then eventually that'll drop off too. Well, in an electric motor, it's just kind of torque, and then horsepower, and then and it's just torque. So you can pull a lot of shit, but you can't pull it to high speeds. But if you combine two 80 horsepower, 217 pound-foot of torque electric motors to the front wheels, added to the 472 pounds-foot of torque from the two gasoline engines, you get a total of 908 pounds-foot of torque across 6 wheels. That will tow an 18-wheeler load. One thing I'm making sure is that this is all very repairable. Even if it gets crashed, it's going to be the kind of thing where the side that doesn't get crashed is still perfectly salvageable. The central, kind of similar to a frame-off sort of thing, only the main physical frame is further behind the front wheels. Actually, very, very similar to the way it is in a current truck, I suppose. But it doesn't extend up in between the front wheels because there's no need to mount a motor there. So instead, I have a boxed steel subframe structure brace that kind of is designed to hold rigidity wise, but to collapse without impaling anyone if a big front impact occurs. And it's also designed to reduce damage from side impacts as well. And because of the size of the wheels, it's designed to allow the wheels to collapse underneath the cabin And like I was explaining on last night's video, the cabin is designed to go up when it's impacted. So like that. Yeah. Or was it, yeah, like that. Hinges instead of welds in the places where shit folds. And then it will go where you want it to instead of through someone. Anyways. So I don't know how many fucking people per year that sort of an 18-wheeler design will save. Putting, you know, you could custom design, I'm sure, an engine with a Ferrari style front and wheel, front and rear output shaft. Basically, put an all-wheel drive V8 in between there. There's probably enough room. But you know, I was going for redundancy and the ability to basically shut one off at cruise speed. But then, you know, again, once you get into actually customizing and like real manufacturing processes, you can have one of them fancy engines that shuts 4 cylinders off. But last I checked, it was pretty hard to get a 12-cylinder that worked right in the 6-cylinder mode, but that might have changed. Anyways, the whole idea is move the engine to the back, move the momentum, the weight to the back, where the structure needs to be anyways to hold the fucking trailer, okay? And then, instead of a battering ram in the front, you can cause a fold-up that'll save lives. Yeah. And like I said, I don't know how many thousands of lives. I don't know how many thousands of lives, but I'm sure it's several thousands of lives. And when those people fucking die, it ain't pretty. You're talking about just, of all the things that can just traumatize the people who have to clean up the accidents, for instance. Let alone the damn victims, you know? Like, I mean, fucking 18-wheeler hits an SUV with a family in it. The whole family just dies at once, you know? I mean, if they're lucky, you know, one of them will sit there and bleed out for a while it sits there and looks at the other corpses. You know, that's basically how 18-wheelers are designed to crash these days. They just obliterate whatever they fucking crash into. So, move the cab back, move the hood down, increase visibility, move the cab in, move the driver towards the middle, keep the mirrors out, put the weight in the back. They'll have better performance, better braking, better handling. Oh, you don't want to see what them truck races are going to look like once they have rear engine, rear wheel drive trucks, you know? I mean, fucking Porsche trucks. Anyways. Oh, coffee. Oh, did my wife leave me? Yes. Cool. Tally ho. One. Ho. Two. Ho. I was tallying hoes. Sorry. I really need to go to sleep, man. It's just my brain won't fucking stop. Like, and like the fact that like people haven't fucking steel rusts. Even stainless fuck steel rusts. What are you gonna do? Paint it? It's a fucking desert. Let the wind blow for a few days. Like even if nobody just comes up there with a scraper. Or some fucking paint thinner. Turpentine. I mean, that's all they have to do. Just take a bucket of turpentine, just like a nice wide spread. Just let that shit fall where it falls. And then send your little kids out there with the fucking water guns with the salt water in them. Fucking big ass hole in the fence in no time. Air traffic controller. Border security isn't gonna pay my mortgage. Pompeo blames misguided Obama for the rise of extremism. So it wasn't Bush invading the fucking wrong country. No. They also don't read the book of Joshua. Yeah. That used to be like a simple lesson. And now we've become Jericho. Good job, people. Good job. A puppet state of Babylon. How about that? No, wait, they left that part out. I'm sorry. But I'm sure y'all probably figured it out by now. Laney, when did you get in my lap? Did I blink? Must have something in my eye. I seem to have blinked. Oh, you've been chewing your butt. You got your spit on me. Yeah. He's just purring his ass off. Look how cute this cat is. Look at this face. Look at this face. No fucks given. Just no fucks given. shit that actually worked. Laney, wake up. Wake up and be entertaining. Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. Oh, I'm sorry, baby. I'm not being mean. Open your eyes. See the people. See your fans. See your adoring fans. Kitty. Yeah, shy little kitty, huh? Yeah, shy little kitty, huh? What? You looking at the fishies? He's our handsome little half minx that is gonna get so big. He's already so big. I mean, y'all remember how old he is. He's what, like 6 months old? He's fucking huge. Like, look at the head on this kid. Look at the head on him. You got a big old head. Yeah, you got a big old head. You don't give a fuck. Anyway. He's almost so cute R. Kelly would pay to pee on him. Haters wanna hate, lovers wanna love. I don't really want none of the above. I want to piss on you. Yes, I do. I'll piss on you. I'll on you. Drip, drip, drip. That's going to be my default heckler response. Oh, look at this one. They're so adorable. If I was R. Kelly, I'd pee on them right now. Yeah, John joke. And I can't think of that without Patrick Stewart dubbing you in Men in Tights. This day henceforth, all the toilets in the kingdom shall be known as Jones. Yeah, my Patrick Stewart's horrible. I can't do Patrick Stewart. He'd never handle my girth. I mean, what? I think that was probably the worst joke I've ever made on the channel. But I'm not sorry. No, not sorry. Trump still insisting Mexico's going to pay for the wall. Oh, that's fascinating. Hear this stupid shit.
So we're going to Texas. We're going to the border. Just spoke to some of my friends in Arizona. We have tremendous support. The Republicans are extremely united. They all want to see something happen, but they're extremely united. And I don't think I've ever seen unity like this with the Republican Party. The media, which I call the...
It's the most unity ever.
Media, in coordination with the Democrats, they're not talking about the Democrats falling. For instance, this morning a number of people came out and said you do need very strong border security, and that includes the wall or whatever it is. A number of Democrats said that, but people don't like to report on it. We have tremendous...
Yeah, you saw it on CNN, dumbass.
Republican Party. It's really a beautiful thing to see. I don't think there'll be any breakaway because they know we need border security and we have to have it. And the only way you're going to have border security, there's only one way. You can have all the technology in the world. I'm a professional in technology. But if you don't have a steel barrier or a wall of some kind, strong, powerful, you're going to have human trafficking, you're going to have drugs pouring across the border, you're going to have MS-13 and the gangs coming in, and we've done record apprehensions. We're doing a great job, but we need help. If we have the wall, we can have...
You don't know shit about MS-13, motherfucker.
In terms of border security and doing an even better job. So if we had the wall, we could have a tremendous saving. I really believe the steel barrier or wall would pay for itself every 3 or 4 months and maybe even better than that in terms of overall. So that's it. Just a couple of things, Chris. I know the fake news likes to say it. When during the campaign, I would say Mexico's going to pay for it. Obviously, I never said this, and I never meant they're going to write out a check. I said they're going to pay for it. They are. They are paying for it with the incredible deal we made called the United States, Mexico, and Canada USMCA deal. It's a trade deal. It has to be approved by Congress. It probably will be, other than maybe they even hold that up because they want to have, they want to do as much harm as they can. Only because of the 2020 presidential election. So Mexico is paying for the wall.
Yeah. Okay, George. Mexico's going to pay for the wall because you rebranded NAFTA. Got it.
I grew up in Houston. In the worst parts of Houston. 5th Ward, Kentwood Village Apartments. Sharpstown. Even A-Leaf when it was bad. And as you can see, I know a little bit about the local gangs in Houston. Black Disciples, Latin Kings. MS-13, Bloods, Crips. And now they got the little offshoot gangs. That's been a thing for a while, little offshoot gangs. Shit. And if you go and ask the law enforcement people in Houston, they'll tell you we don't need no damn walls taking away from the law enforcement dollars in the city of Houston, in San Antonio, and Austin. And if you think MS-13 is active this, that, and the other place, you don't know just how fucking active they are in Houston, Texas. You want to cut off all of all of MS-13's shit all throughout the country. All you need to do is beef up the law enforcement in LA and Houston. A female police officer was shot near Shreveport, Louisiana this morning on her way to work. Wasn't even clocked in yet. I guess Trump would build a wall around her. Well, because of Trumpism in general, and because of all the racist fucks that support him. What could be a truly great country remains the place that built a box around her. We're having police officers getting assassinated. Last year, I mean, 2016, 2017, a lot of people fucking died. Last year, it's like all the remaining people on TV fucking died. Like, what the hell? Burt Reynolds, like fucking Stephen Hawking, like. I was watching the little Looper clip thing. Coach. What's his name? The chef guy. Travels the world. Some actress died at 52 fucking years old. Acting like it was natural causes. 52, really? 52? Leonard Bourdain, is that the chef guy's name? Hung while on vacation. Another hanging. Because that's what people with all access to all kinds of great fucking drugs do when they want to kill themselves, is they go out and buy rope. No. Somebody comes with a fucking gun in a coat pocket and makes them buy the rope. They might hold their pet hostage or something. They're not telling them what the fucking rope is going to be for. They're thinking they might get tied up and taken somewhere. They might get held for ransom or something. Everybody hopes for the best out of a sense of self-preservation. And all they gotta do to be convinced of it's a fucking suicide is that they bought the rope. And that's a one actor after another. Fucking 3 years we've lost half of Hollywood. Not the Hollywood they put here, the Hollywood we grew up with. And, you know, these people aren't that fucking old, man. It's just not that old. Some of them are. You know, like Stan Lee. Okay? Now, granted, how do we know Stan Lee couldn't have lived until he was 120, you know? He's fucking Stan Lee, isn't he? Could have been his superpower. Just fucking people dying at odd time. Or even at Gene Roddenberry's age, the time that Gene Roddenberry died was at an odd fucking time. Anyways, I can't even list the damn people. Can't even list the people that have just showed up dead since the fuckery started in 2011. Anyways, but really, it as far as the fascist swing in response to the liberal victory, the classical liberal victory of Obama, right? I wonder if Carlin got killed because he already saw what was going on. I mean, he looked like his health was starting to fail him and all, but it usually takes more than that for your body to stop repairing itself. It's a lot to do with will and purpose. Anyways. Petey's out and about. Let's take a look at him before I go ahead and call it a broadcast. Where'd he go? There he is. Well, they're all in one place. How about that? Oh, and my battery's dying just in time. Smurfette's been eating the fucking coral over there. No wonder those corals are doing so poorly. I could see the flame angel picking at him sometime, but Smurfette's picking at him. Holy shit. Yeah, Petey is definitely growing. Anyways, that's gonna be all for now. Don't forget to click the like button, make sure you're subscribed, and all that good jazz. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out and chatting, Emily. Yeah,